Why do creative people always feel different? Why do they sense things that others overlook? Why does their heart seem to live in a world that isn't always aligned with the one they see around them? Because creative people don't just exist, they feel every moment of existence. They don't just pass through life, they observe it, taste it, question it, and transform it. When others walk through a rainy day, they see inconvenience. But a creative person, they see 1,000 tiny reflections dancing in puddles. They hear music in the rhythm of the raindrops. They imagine stories hiding inside every drop that falls from the sky. They feel deeply, sometimes too deeply. They can be surrounded by people and still feel alone, because their thoughts exist in a language the world rarely speaks. They are dreamers trapped in reality. And that's why they often feel out of place. When the world moves fast, creative people pause. When the world speaks loudly, they listen to silence. When the world follows trends, they chase truth. Because deep inside, they aren't trying to impress, they're trying to express. That's what makes them different. But it's also what makes life harder for them. Because when you feel deeply, you hurt deeply. When you imagine endlessly, you struggle endlessly. When you care so much, you get disappointed more often. Creative people are often misunderstood because they don't think in straight lines. They think in colors, emotions, memories, and metaphors. Their mind doesn't walk, it flies. It leaps from one idea to another, building worlds that don't yet exist. That is the beauty of it, and also the burden. They often doubt themselves. They create something, love it, destroy it, rebuild it, and then wonder if it ever meant anything at all. Because creativity isn't just about making. It's about feeling everything so strongly that it needs to become something tangible. Creative people feel different because they see differently. Where others see an empty room, they see potential. Where others see a mistake, they see a lesson. Where others see nothing, they see everything. Their mind is a constant storm of inspiration. They are awake when others sleep. Writing, painting, building, imagining. Because their ideas never stop whispering. The world might call them overthinkers. But what they truly are is overfeelers. That's why they often feel lonely. Not because they want to be alone, but because not everyone can understand the way they think. It's not easy to explain how a simple melody can bring tears, or how a single word can spark a universe of ideas. They live in between worlds, the real and the imagined, the possible and the impossible. And that's why they sometimes feel like they don't belong fully to either. But here's the truth. Their difference is not a flaw. It's a gift. Because without those who felt different, there would be no art, no music, no inventions, no new ideas that challenge the ordinary. Every person who changed the world once felt like they didn't fit in it. Van Gogh felt too much and was misunderstood. Tesla dreamed too big and was ignored. Da Vinci imagined too wildly and was doubted. But time proved that their difference wasn't madness, it was brilliance. So when a creative person feels too emotional, too strange, or too distant, they must remember that they're not broken. They are simply tuned to a different frequency. They see the unseen, hear the unsaid, and feel the invisible threads of existence. Yes, it's lonely sometimes. Yes, it's exhausting. But it's also extraordinary. Because they can turn heartbreak into poetry, pain into purpose, and silence into beauty. Creative people feel different because they are different. They carry inside them a spark the world can't extinguish, a need to create, to explore, to dream, to understand. Even when no one believes in them, they keep going. Even when their ideas are dismissed, they keep imagining. Because they know, creation is not about approval. It's about survival. They create not to be seen, but because they cannot not create. It's how they breathe, how they heal, how they stay alive. They see beauty in things others throw away. They find meaning in the moments others forget. They chase emotions that others are too afraid to feel. That's why creative people often feel lost in a world that rewards logic over imagination, speed over depth, conformity over curiosity. But remember this: it's always the dreamers, the misfits, and the thinkers who build the future everyone else lives in. The ones who feel different today are the ones who will shape tomorrow. So if you feel misunderstood, if your ideas are too wild, if your emotions are too deep, don't try to silence them. They are your compass. They are proof that you are alive in a world that has forgotten how to feel. You are not too much. You are not too emotional. You are simply one of the few who still dares to see the world with wonder. And that is something rare, something powerful, something the world desperately needs. Because when everyone else sees the world as it is, you see what it could be. And that's why creative people feel different. Because they are the ones brave enough to dream of a world that doesn't exist, and then somehow make it real.